The 1970s were a special time for black kids, filled with corner store runs, Saturday morning TV, and snacks that felt like pure magic. But what made those treats so unforgettable back then? Here are 10 famous 1970s snacks black kids loved that you'll never find again. Number 1, the Marathon Bar Moment. Unwrapping. A marathon bar after school was more than just eating candy for black kids in the 1970s. It was a whole moment, the kind that could turn an ordinary afternoon into something you'd remember. That long wrapper felt like it was hiding treasure, and when you peeled it open, you saw that braided rope-like twist of chocolate-covered caramel. Kids would drop their book bag, head straight for the stash spot, and take their time like they wanted it to last. And you didn't just eat it, you worked it. You'd stretch it, pull it, and bite slow while the caramel stuck to your teeth and the chocolate softened in your fingers. For a lot of black kids, the Marathon Bar wasn't just a snack. It was a flex. Friends would appear out of nowhere with the same line, "Let me get a piece, just one bite." And you had to decide who really deserved it. For black kids in the 1970s, the Marathon Bar was proof that something small could feel like winning, a sweet little badge of childhood pride. Number 2, the Reggie Bar when sports heroes had snacks. Grabbing a Reggie Bar from the store was more than just buying candy for black kids in the 1970s. It felt like a small celebration, a sweet treat tied to a hero you already respected. You'd spot that wrapper at the corner store or in the grocery aisle and your eyes would lock in. The name hit first, Reggie, like it carried weight. Kids would buy one with spare change, then walk out slow, peeling it open like they didn't want to waste the moment. The first bite was sweet and rich, the kind of taste that made you pause. You didn't inhale it. You chewed it steady, letting it last, because snacks like that didn't show up every day. For a lot of black kids, the Reggie Bar wasn't just about flavor. It was about representation. A black sports star turned into something you could hold, trade, and talk about on the block. For black kids in the 1970s, the Reggie Bar was proof our champions belonged everywhere, even in the candy rack. Eating Space Food Sticks while watching Saturday morning TV was more than just having a snack for black kids in the 1970s. It felt like stepping into the future for a few minutes, right there in your own living room. They were dry, sweet, and compact, almost like a chewy cake bar, and the name alone made them sound important. Kids would tear open the package, take a bite, and immediately start acting like astronauts, sitting up straighter, talking like they were on a mission, pretending the couch was a spaceship headed somewhere far away. Siblings would laugh and join in, and before you knew it, the whole room turned into NASA. Somebody would make sound effects, somebody would report to mission control, and everybody would keep eating, like this was the food you'd take to outer space. Space Food Sticks weren't just about the taste. They were about imagination. It wasn't just a snack. It was imagination you could chew. For black kids in the 1970s, it was a tiny escape into the future when the present felt heavy. Number 4, Screaming Yellow Zonkers. Hearing that box and smelling that sweet popcorn was more than just snack time for black kids in the 1970s. It was the signal that the whole night was about to feel special. The second you opened it, that caramel sweet smell hit the air, and the paper inside would crinkle like it was announcing itself. The popcorn was loud in every way, big, sticky, and almost too sweet. But somehow, you kept eating anyway. You'd grab a handful, lick your fingers, and go right back in like you couldn't help it. And it was never a solo snack. The family would be on the couch, sometimes with those plastic covers that stuck to your legs, and the box would sit in the middle like it belonged to everybody. Hands would reach in at the same time. People would laugh, argue over the best pieces, and the TV would be playing while the living room felt full, screaming. Yellow Zonkers weren't just popcorn. It wasn't just popcorn. It was the whole living room turning into an event. For black kids in the 1970s, it was comfort food wrapped in a loud, unforgettable moment. Number 5, Jell-O 1, 2, 3. Seeing that layered dessert in the fridge was more than just finding something sweet for black kids in the 1970s. It felt like spotting something fancy, like the house was getting ready for company, even if nobody was coming. Jell-O 1, 2, 3 had those smooth, wiggling layers that looked almost too perfect to touch. You'd open the fridge door and stare at it for a second, watching it jiggle under the light like it belonged in a restaurant. When you finally got a spoonful, it was cold and sweet, with that creamy softness that made it feel different from regular Jell-O, like it was made for a special occasion, and you usually didn't serve yourself. An auntie or grandma would portion it out, careful and proud, like she was presenting something important. Kids would eat it slow, then instantly ask, "Just one more scoop?" hoping nobody noticed how fast it disappeared. Jell-O 1, 2, 3 wasn't just dessert. It was presentation. For black kids in the 1970s, it meant our homes had style and pride, even with simple ingredients. Making a kugel sandwich like it was gourmet was more than just lunch for black kids in the 1970s. It felt like turning an ordinary kitchen into a treat spot. You'd twist open that jar and the sweet smell would hit first. Kids spread it thick on soft white bread, not even trying to be neat. One bite and it stuck to the roof of your mouth, so you chased it with a cold gulp of milk and went right back for another. And if you had siblings, it got loud fast. Everybody swore they only took a little, then fought over who got the last spoonful stuck to the sides. Moms would step in with the same warning every time. Don't waste it. Kugel wasn't just peanut butter. It was turning an ordinary kitchen into a treat factory. For black kids in the 1970s, it was proof you could make something special out of almost nothing. Number 7, penny candy grab bags from the corner store. Walking to the corner store with coins in your pocket was more than just going to buy candy for black kids in the 1970s. It was a small taste of independence. You'd push open that door and hear the little bell ring, and the sugar smell hit you like a promise. Glass jars lined the counter, bright wrappers stacked behind the glass, and you'd stand there counting pennies like you were doing real business. The owner would hand you a paper bag, and you'd call out what you wanted like you had a system. 2 of those, 1 of those, and give me the red ones. And it was never just you. Kids would be lined up watching what everybody picked, saving the best choices for last. The owner usually knew your name, knew your family, and still made you say, "please," like it mattered. Then you'd step back outside and the trading would start on the sidewalk, swapping, comparing, and showing off what you scored. It wasn't just candy. It was independence. For black kids in the 1970s, that corner store run was freedom, 1 coin at a time. Number 8, now and laters. Unwrapping a now and later on the bus was more than just having candy for black kids in the 1970s. It was a whole system, the kind you learned before you even got to school. That little waxy wrapper made a sound you could hear over the chatter, and everybody knew what it meant. The chew was serious. You'd work it with your jaw like it was a workout, and the flavor didn't disappear fast. It stayed with you, sticking around through the whole ride like it was proud of itself, and it wasn't meant to be eaten quietly. The second someone saw it, the question started. "Let me get one." "What flavor you got?" Then the deals came out on the schoolyard. 2 for 1, trade for a different flavor, or save it for somebody who owed you. Kids would stash a few in their pocket like they were carrying real value. Now and laters weren't just a chew, it was social currency. For black kids in the 1970s, snacks weren't only food, they were how you bonded. Number 9, the fruit pie era, buying a little fruit pie and carrying it home was more than just getting something sweet for black kids in the 1970s. It felt like a reward you could hold in your hand. Those pies were small, warm, and packed with sticky filling that always seemed hotter than you expected. You'd bite in and get that burst of sweet fruit, while crumbs fell onto your shirt or into your palm. Sometimes you didn't even make it home before you opened it. And if you did, there was a good chance it ended up a little smashed in your jacket pocket. But you still ate it anyway like nothing was wrong. A fruit pie usually came with a moment attached to it. After church, after school, after running errands, right? Somebody would hand you one like you earned it. Kids would split it with a cousin or take turns stealing bites, laughing like it was the best dessert in the world. It wasn't just a pie, it was a reward. Number 10. Frozen juice cups and homemade freezer treats. Tearing open a frozen juice cup on a hot day was more than just cooling off for black kids in the 1970s. It was a summer ritual that hit the same every single time. That little cup was rock solid, and the edges were sharp enough to remind you to be careful. You would peel back the top, crack the ice with your teeth, and feel that first burst of cold juice rush through you. It would melt fast, dripping down your hand and sliding along your arm, leaving you sticky in the heat. And the colors were loud, red, purple, orange. The kind that painted your tongue and made you feel like you had been outside all day. This was not an inside snack. Kids were on the porch, on the stoop, out in the street, laughing and calling to each other while somebody's music played nearby. Everybody had something frozen in their hand, and nobody wanted to go back inside yet. It was not just something cold. It was summer in your hands. For black kids in the 1970s, those frozen treats were the taste of the neighborhood being alive. Which one of these snacks takes you right back? Drop your favorite 1970s snack memory in the comments. And if there's one I missed that you know should be on this list, tell me that too. Hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another trip down memory lane.